His name was Jerry Reed, and he was one of the most famous guitar players in the world. However, the young man didn't know that yet. The young man was performing for the first time in his life at an open mic night at a bar called Tootsie's Orchid Lounge in Nashville. He was so nervous about his performance that his hands were shaking while playing his guitar. It wasn't just because he was nervous. In fact, it was more because he had chosen a very difficult song to play. It was a solo guitar version of a song made famous by Elvis Presley. If he could play it well, people would notice him. But if he messed up, they would just laugh at him. The worst part was that the young man had an old beaten-up guitar with him. And all the other musicians at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge had expensive guitars, too. They all mocked him for his old guitar, and some even said he wouldn't be able to play anything good on it. But he didn't let their comments get to him. Instead, he focused on his music. He played the first few bars of the song, and the audience listened attentively. Then he started to strum the strings harder, and the sound of his guitar echoed through the room. Everyone in the audience leaned forward in their seats to listen to the rest of the song. The young man was playing better than he had ever played before. When he finished, there was a moment of silence. No one said anything. No one dared to break the silence. Then someone clapped. Then another person clapped. And soon the entire room was filled with applause. People stood up from their seats to congratulate him. They told him he had a bright future ahead of him. They also apologized for mocking his old guitar. But the truth was that the guitar wasn't old or broken. It was a 1953 Martin D18, worth more than $1 million. And the young man knew exactly how to use it, to get under the skin of the other guitarists in the room. That's because the young man wasn't just any guitar player. He was Jerry Reed, one of the best guitarists of all time. And the other guitarists in the room learned this the hard way. Jerry was born on March 20th, 1937, in Atlanta, Texas. When he was just 6 years old, his father gave him his first guitar. From that moment on, Jerry's fingers never left the fretboard. When he was a teenager, Jerry was already good enough to perform in front of thousands of people. For example, he once performed on stage with the legendary Eddie Arnold. He toured with him for several months until Jerry decided to return to school. After all, he was still just a teenager. However, after graduating high school, Jerry picked up his guitar again and went on tour. This time he toured with the Wilburn Brothers. While on tour, Jerry met a woman named Susie, whom he later married. Together they had 3 children. In addition to being a great guitarist, Jerry was also a brilliant songwriter. So when he looked back on his early career, he realized that he hadn't written any songs for other artists. Sure, he had written a lot of songs during his career, but he had only performed them himself. So in 1971, he decided to write a song for another artist. He wrote a song called Us Male, which was recorded by another artist. The song became a hit, and Jerry thought it was time to do the same for another friend of his. This friend was none other than Waylon Jennings, a country singer who would later become one of Jerry's closest friends. Waylon loved the song and recorded it immediately. Once again, the song became a hit. Now Jerry wanted to take the next step. He was going to release his own album, and he wanted it to be special, so he invited some of his friends to participate. These friends included Waylon Jennings, the Carter Stanley brothers, and a woman named Loretta Lynn. All of them were big stars in their own right. Together, they recorded an album that would go down in history as one of the greatest albums of all time. The album was called Guitar Man, and it was released in 1972. Right away, the album went platinum, selling over 1 million copies. Everyone praised Jerry for his unique style of playing guitar. From then on, Jerry's career went from strength to strength. He won Grammy Awards, played for presidents, and appeared in movies. For example, he starred alongside Burt Reynolds in the movie Smokey and the Bandit. In the film, Jerry played a character named Snowman. He not only starred in the film, but he also composed the soundtrack. But despite his great success, Jerry never forgot where he came from. In fact, he often returned to small venues like Tootsie's Orchid Lounge to play. He did this to help new musicians and to remind himself why he had fallen in love with music in the first place. One day, Jerry was playing at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge when a woman walked onto the stage. She was a big star in her own right, and she was a huge fan of Jerry's. Her name was Dolly Parton, and she wanted to surprise him by joining him on stage. She told him that she was a big fan of his, and that she had always wanted to play with him. Of course, Jerry was honored and happy to have Dolly join him on stage. The two of them played a few songs together, and the crowd went wild. No one could believe that they were watching Jerry play with one of the biggest female country singers of all time. But as the night wore on, Jerry noticed something strange. Dolly seemed to be struggling to play. She kept messing up her lines and forgetting where she was in the song. Jerry knew that Dolly was usually a perfectionist, and he could understand why she was playing so poorly. Finally, he decided to ask her what was wrong. She told him that she was nervous because she had never played in such a small venue before. She was used to playing in large arenas with a full band behind her. But at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, it was just her and Jerry on stage. Jerry told her not to worry about it, and that she should just relax and have fun. He also told her that she didn't need to try to be perfect, because no one expected her to be. At that moment, Jerry realized that he had a chance to make Dolly's night. He could show her what it was like to play in a small venue without all the pressure of being a superstar. He decided to make her a surprise. In the middle of one of their songs, Jerry put down his guitar and stepped back to let Dolly take over. He gestured to her that it was her turn to play. Dolly was shocked, but she quickly recovered. She picked up Jerry's guitar and started playing a few chords. The crowd cheered and clapped along with her. Dolly was having the time of her life. She was finally able to relax and enjoy playing music for the first time in a long time. She smiled at Jerry and mouthed the words "thank you." When their song was over, Jerry put his arm around Dolly's shoulder and the crowd applauded. At the end of the night, Dolly thanked Jerry for helping her to relax and enjoy playing music again. She told him that he had a gift for making people feel comfortable, and that she was grateful for his help. But Jerry just smiled and told her that he was the one who should be thanking her. He said that he had always admired her talent, and that it had been an honor to play with her. He also told her that she didn't need his help, and that she was more than capable of playing in front of any audience. As the night wound down, Jerry and Dolly said goodbye to each other and to the crowd. They both left feeling refreshed and ready to take on the world. Jerry continued to play at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge for many nights to come. He loved the intimacy of the venue and the chance to connect with his fans on a more personal level. As for Dolly, she went on to have a successful career that spanned decades. She continued to make music, appear in films and television shows, and write songs for other artists. Throughout her career, she remained humble and grateful for the opportunities that had come her way. She never forgot the early days of playing small venues and the importance of supporting other musicians.